Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And we got another absolutely fantastic show coming your way. Today, we are going to talk about how do you find joy in your journey. We are all on a journey, and sometimes the journey is not always set or planned like we plan it to be. And sometimes it's kind of hard to stay focused on maintaining joy. But we got one of the best in the business today. This young lady that's gonna talk to us today is one of the best in the business. She do so many things. I'm talking about when I say so many things, she does. And so I tell you, if you want to be part of the conversation, you can call in to the radio station. Michelle is going to provide that number on the screen, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Or you can always go to StreamYard and just give the StreamYard Facebook permission to show your picture, and you can comment that way as well. How you doing today, Michelle? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited about the show today and the topic that you just mentioned, how to find joy in your journey. So it's going to be really deep. We have an amazing guest, and she's going to be talking about so many things. She is multifaceted. She's got a lot of accolades and roles underneath her belt. So we're really excited to have this guest, which we will mention.
Yeah, we will mention shortly, but I want to bring uh, the radio crew in with us as well. So, and then we'll just pick it up from there. So, I tell you what, Todd, let's get it started. Todd, let's start the show.
Ages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. James is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the James Cooley Foundation. James is here to equip you to strive for greatness and to overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges. Here's the host of It's Your Life, James Cooley.
Hello, welcome to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and wow, Michelle, we got a fantastic show coming your way today, and we are going to talk about how do you find joy in your journey. And we got, I tell you, Dr. V is what we call her, Dr. V, and she's an entrepreneur, she's an author, she's a joy coach, she's a joy, I mean, it's everything. You can put about 12, 14, 15 different names, titles there, and it probably won't do any good. A 12-time best-selling author. Michelle, you want to pick it up from there?
Yes. Let me introduce the guest, title, purpose of the show. So the title of the show today is How Do You Find Joy in Your Journey? And the purpose is getting to know publisher, best-selling book strategist, 12 times best-selling author, international speaker, grief and joy restoration coach, and creator of the Grief Helpline, Dr. Vernessa Blackwell, aka Dr. V. We're going to talk about Dr. V's career as an author and a writer and how she helps other authors to become published authors. We're going to discuss her role as a grief coach and also learn about additional projects that she is working on this year. So let's kind of go into Dr. V's background. Dr. Vernessa Blackwell, known as Dr. V, the best-selling book strategist, 12 times best-selling author, international speaker, and creator of the Grief Helpline Series, through her best-selling book strategist, a servant leader at heart and a creative soul, she seeks to help others stir up their gifts while transforming their lives. As a publisher, she specializes in author branding, book coaching, and publishing. She has been the visionary author of 4 best-selling book collaborations and recently released her 4th project, Joy Comes in the Morning, with 90 aspiring authors. As a grief and joy restoration coach, she's an author of 20 books, which describes her journey through grief after the loss of her mom, dad, and all her siblings, to include three sisters and a brother. Her healing path was extensive and intense with many losses. She used different therapies and techniques such as counseling, trauma therapy, coaching, and prayer. There are many lessons, tools, and techniques she discovered to help heal. Her career and community involvement have given her practical knowledge to share, and the multiple traumas she has gone through have taught her resilience. Where she once saw courage as being in the military, she now believes it's found in helping others battle through daily struggles after losing a loved one. Most importantly, she is the mother of two amazing adult daughters and seven precious grandchildren, five grandsons and two granddaughters, and one amazing great grandson. She's a widow living in Southern Maryland, and she loves to travel. The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, E360 TV platform, and many others welcomes Dr. Vernessa Blackwell, aka Dr. V, to the show.
How you doing, Dr. V? How are you doing today?
You, Dr. Brother James J.C. Cooley, and thank you, Mrs. Cooley. I'm grateful to be on your show today.
Well, we absolutely just excited to have you because you bring so much knowledge and so much, and joy in everything that you do. And also, even when people are not joyful at times from a grief perspective, you bring an insight to that as well. So we're just so excited to have you on the show. I want to start off and just say, where did you grow up and what were some of your fondest memories?
Pardon me?
I said, what did you grow up and what were some of your fondest memories?
So I was born in North Carolina and I grew up in the DMV area. I went to school in DC, and then we moved to Maryland. I was about 17. So I lived in Maryland until I joined the military.
So you was in the military? How long were you in the military?
I joined the military when I was 18. I didn't like it back then. I was young. I was in the military police unit, and they were doing night fire. And so I got out. After a year, I got out. I married a young man. He was in the military, so he was a soldier. And then me and him separated and actually divorced. And I went back in the military at 34 years old after working various jobs. I worked for the post office, Shoppers Food, you name it. Couldn't find me no benefits, so I went back to get some benefits in the military.
So you went back and you went and said, hey, I'm in seek of benefits. So you went back and said, hey, I'm getting some benefits. What service were you in? What service?
I was in the Army.
The Army.
DC Army National Guard. I was a full-time employee. Once I went back and signed up, I was in admin, human resources, and they gave me a full-time job. So I became a full-time employee for DC Guard. In 94, started out as a temp tech, moved to AGR, and I did 24 years with the DC Army National Guard, having active duty tours and civilian tours. So yeah.
Yeah, I spent 20.
Just stick it out for them 24 years.
Yeah, I was in the Navy for 23 years. So the Army, okay, Navy, great. I mean, all of them were great. So hey, Dr. V, tell us about your educational background.
So I have associates in computer science. I have a bachelor's in business management. And then I went back and got my master's in business management. And, we just got our honorary doctorates in March. So congratulations on yours as well.
Oh, thank you. So who or what inspired you to become an author and also a publisher?
Well, I used to write a lot as a kid and didn't realize that it would turn into a book. But my journaling and I think my military experience always in human resources and taking notes, I think that really is what inspired me to write. And then, like I said, when I lost my siblings, I realized that was the only way that I could leave, our legacy out here because they weren't here to tell their story anymore. So I needed to tell it and tell it for all of us, So I started writing.
So you lost all your siblings? Can you talk about that a little bit? I mean, that's got to be tough. And can you hear me, Doc?
Yes, I actually started writing when I was in the military. Yes, I started writing in the military because I was writing collaboration books. I think the first book I wrote in was Art of Activation, and you just had to submit a chapter, your headshot, and your bio. I like that because, like I said, I was still working on my own books, but I really wanted to learn the steps. So I've written in 8 collaborations, and they really helped me a great deal because when I started doing my own projects, I could refer back to the things that I learned in those other books that I wrote in, and I brought, took away the good and the bad, added my own program, and now I do collaborations as well.
So tell us about your brand as an author and who is your target audience.
So, like I said, being an author to me, it really changed my life because after retiring from the military, I really didn't want to go back to the civilian sector in the DC area. The traffic is atrocious, going and coming from work. So I really wanted to find something that I could do from home and work for myself. And once I started writing books, it allowed me to do that. So now I created my business around the grief coaching and the joy restoration, and most of my books are for the grief and loss community.
So your target audience is primarily the griefing audience community.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, because like I said, that's where my struggles were with losing all my siblings and both parents, and then the love of my life was killed in a car accident. So yeah, my struggles with grief. So when I found that it was healing and therapeutic for me to talk to others that's been going through some of the things that I went through, and tell them that they could survive because I was still standing in spite of it all.
so you reach out and you have other authors that you work with, and you're a 12-time best-selling author. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So my last project was, I want to make sure that my last project was Joy Comes in the Morning. And that was the one that I did with the 90 authors. And we kind of launched that in June. Um, I was I had that one traditionally published, but I do self-publish as well. When I'm working on large projects, I prefer to have a publisher because then you have a second set of eyes. And of course, if I'm working with my 90 authors, I kind of commit myself to working with them and answering their questions. So the publisher takes over the portion of the editing, the layout of the book, and formatting. But if I do projects, I have self-published books for my kid. My granddaughter has a book. My daughter has 3 books. Um, and several other authors I've helped to publish their books as well.
Let's talk about your last project, Joy Comes in the Morning. Um, what prompted um, that idea for you to do that and call it that particular title?
Yeah. So with Joy Comes in the Morning, to me, it's, because when someone passes away, you buy all this stuff. The truth is that all the stuff that you buy here on earth, um, we work so hard to buy it and accumulate all this stuff. But when we pass away, it doesn't mean a thing to anyone. They are cleaning out our stuff, going through our stuff, figuring out what to do with our stuff. This stuff we've accumulated in our life. The only thing that we have it can value is memories and the things that we deposit in others. So that is how I came up with the topic for finding joy in the journey. We teach people how to, to help to learn how to spend less time accumulating stuff and spend more time making memories. So that's how I found the title for Joy Comes in the Morning.
Wow, so joy does come in the morning. Actually, it comes all during the times, but especially in the mornings when we wake up. That's joyful right there. Just opening up your eyes, waking up, and hopefully it's in the morning. Yeah. So, but you work with over 90 authors. A lot of them are good friends of both of ours, and And can you tell our listeners and our viewers that when you're working with a lot of different folks, uh, we tend to learn something from everyone, each one of the authors that you're working with, because their definition of joy is a little bit different than ours, because everybody got their own path. But I tell you what, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to pick it up with Joy Comes in the Morning. If you want to be part of this great conversation, you can call into the radio station at 1-866-577-2473, or you can always go to StreamYard and give permission and just share comment. It's your life. I'm Dr. James Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Hi, I'm Todd Pierick, the producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And in the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, you can join James as he shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, / Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
.com and Odyssey.com.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. And I tell you, we're talking about, how you find joy in your journey. And we got Dr. V here who's sharing how she helped authors, how she helped folks, joy restoration, a lot of different things, grief, coaching, etc. And not just that, but a 12-time best-selling author. And I tell you, if you want to be part of this conversation, you call into the radio station at 1-866-577-2473, or you can go to wherever you're watching this show at, stream your Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, over 24 different streaming platforms, and you can go to the comment side and just ask this young lady any question that you want to. So, hey, Dr. V, we was talking about finding joy in your journey and what that means to you and why you chose that title for your book. Dr. V?
Well, like I said, I'm a joy in restoration, grief and joy and restoration coach. So I'm always looking for joy. I'm always, I look for joy in the small things in life. Like I said, a lot of people feel like you have to have a bigger house, but if you get a big house, you have to get some. That's just more cleaning to do, and more stuff you have to accumulate to fill it up. So I've learned in life, and I know you know this too. As you get older, less is better. It's less that you have to worry about, less you have to struggle with, and all of that. So, like I said, I find joy in being at that beach, just out, spending time with family because life is short. And so, when you create memories, those things last you for a lifetime. Because one day we all have to leave here. Unfortunately, we have to go. Um, it's it's a great place to be, but we got to leave. So, and the memories that we create now, or will help them to still find joy in their journey after we're long gone. Like what you're doing with your show, people can look back at the times they were on your show and memories that you created with your wife and your family. Those are the things we have one day. So, I find joy in the small things now because, like I said, walking this road alone without my siblings and my parents, it's a it's a lonely road, but writing and traveling with the co-authors in my books and mentoring and coaching and guiding and giving back is how I find joy in my journey, and that's what I teach my clients. Look for joy in the small things in life, because it doesn't always come in a big package.
So just like we had mentioned, you got 90 co-authors in this book. Um, did you find when you was getting these stories from each one of them, did you learn something that helped you out? Because each and every one of us are on a different path, you know, a different road. And I believe that by, watching and learning from others also help increase our understanding ourselves and also give us direction on where we want to go or where we don't want to go. Can you talk a little bit about that, Dr. V?
I, I really couldn't hear. Yeah, I really couldn't hear that. You were breaking up a little bit. That doing that. I really couldn't hear what you were saying.
Oh, I was saying that you have over 90 different authors in your book, and each one of them wrote something, pertaining to how they find joy in their journey. And each one of them probably have different paths that they're taking. Uh, my question was, did you learn a whole lot from some of the authors that potentially could help you out in finding and keeping your joy as you continue to travel down your journey?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, working with 90 authors is a joy in itself. A lot of them are first time authors, and then some already have books out. But our goal was to make best selling author together. So we stuck to a strict guideline of what your submission would be, and that would be a headshot, professional headshot, short bio, and a devotional would be 250 to 300 words or less. And so they came up with their own titles, and they told their message was something that how they found joy in the journey, or how they felt that joy would come in the morning after a personal, whether that was cancer or job loss, divorce, marital problems, health issues, or whatever. Because, like I told, and when they submitted their bio with it, the reader could reach back out to them and get some help with that their partners or whatever they were coaching
So,
services.
so I believe that that's so important because you got the thoughts of 90 different authors who sharing their thoughts and probably some of the things that they have went through that help them by sharing this. Not only help them, but I believe it's probably helping others who might be in a similar situations. And just by words of encouragement, and just by them explaining um, how handle that and what brings them joy when they wake up, that's got to be incredible. It's got to be incredible. Yes, you had mentioned earlier about um, with 90 different authors, for as publishing, there's two different type of ways to publish a book, traditionally and or self-published. Can you talk a little bit about that for anybody that might be thinking about, wow, I want to be a part of this? And she mentioned traditionally. Can you tell them what traditionally mean and self-published mean?
Yes. Yeah, so with traditionally publishing, you have a publisher, and they'll offer you a publishing package. I do publishing as well. So you have a package, and the person that is interested in writing a book, they'll let you know where they are in that stage. You help them, with a create a package that's accustomed to their needs, because people write in different niches. Some people is self help, some is Christian, inspirational, motivational, different genres. So you figure out which um, niche they're writing in, and you can help them with a publishing package. With my co-authors, a lot of them had books out, and some had already had publishers. So I can give them the steps in my packages. In my program, we go through the steps. We go through, why do you need an ISBN? Because as a publisher, then you can either offer ISBN packages, or you can have a ISBN. You can own the rights to the ISBN, and then as the publisher, you receive all the royalties. But so for my co-authors, I teach them that during the process, in a collaboration, the visionary has the rights to the ISBN. If they have a publisher, then the publisher can have the royalty, or you can, as the visionary, you can say, no, I want to give you my ISBN, and then I get the royalties for my book. The reason that you should do that is because of the fact, if you go along, I mean, all books have some type of error or something you may want to change, or like may have your book translated in Spanish or different language, or even put in audio. If you own the ISBN number, then you have the rights to do that. But if you do not, then you have to go back to the publisher, because they own the ISBN, and they're the only one that can make a change to the book. So we go through those, the steps. What does it take? Do I go through the selecting the cover? What does is the cover going to look like? We pick out the cover together, so they see the steps that you have to do when you're going to publish a book of your own. And then that's why I tell them it's more than just writing for a day, because I try and teach them, and I tell them, watch the steps that we go through, because you can duplicate these. So a lot of my co-authors, I've helped over 300 authors to become bestsellers. They are doing their own collaborations now from the steps that we provided throughout the book launch.
Wow. That's good information to have. But I tell you, we're going to take a station break. We're going to pick it up shortly after the break. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can call in again at 1-866-577-2473, or just go to the comments, and that's coming that way. It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
Streaming now on the Answer San Diego app and Odyssey.com.
Life is a series of circles and cycles, phases and stages. These are your experiences that teach you the lessons of life. You can either ignore them or embrace them. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James Cooley is a motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James Cooley, and I tell you, learning a whole lot. And, and I'm an author. I have 5 books, but she is teaching me some things, especially about the ISBN number. That is so important to understand as the author, because that determines your value for as, first of all, copyright ownership and how you get paid. So Dr. V, that's so important to understand. And I want to pick it back up with that one, because anybody that's out there looking to self-publish a book or traditionally publish one, just like as you mentioned with a publisher, they need to understand those things. And so can you pick it back up with the ISBN information that you was putting out prior to us taking a break?
Yeah. So purchasing ISBN, why should own the rights to the ISBN? ISBN is the serial number for the book. So whoever owns that gets the royalties for the book. So that's why a lot of people wants to do publishing, because then you can get all these books and the royalties for them. But I teach my authors, right, let them have a choice. Now, if they want to release the rights to you and they just want you to do the book publishing, then that's fine. But give them an option. Because when I first got my first book published, I learned that I had created everything. I had my cover already designed. I had, it was a very few changes she had to make. And then you go in, you want the best package, because they show you the one with the bells and the whistles. You're going to get these bookmarks. You're going to get some postcards. We're going to send you 25 free books. And, you get this nice package. And you say, of course, you want the big package, right? But that package really is, if you self-publish, you can do it yourself. So I give my clients the option. Do you want me to publish the book? Do you want to learn how? Because once you learn how to do something, then you can teach others, right? So that is what I like about learning self-publishing, right? Because I have a kid's book out for grief. I have a coloring book. I have a journal, workbook, a planner. All of this is in my grief kit for people that's going through grief and dealing with grief and loss. And I created that kit because I realized as a coach, I cannot be everywhere. People are dying every day. People are struggling with grief every day. But if I created this kit, I can send my kit to a home and help a family that is really struggling or going through. And that is why I created that. And that's why I say I believe everybody has a book in them. I really do. And learning the steps to publish, self-publish. Yes, most of us start out with a publisher. But then you say, okay, well, I need to learn how to do this, because when God gave me, when I chose that publisher, then by the time my book finished going through the publishing phase, God had given me 2 more books. I told my publisher that, and she was like, great, just pick out a package. Another package, ma'am? I said, no, ma'am. I'm going to have to learn how to do this, right? And that kind of started me on my journey into self-publishing, right? Uh-huh. So I learned how to do the journal. I took baby steps first. I said, okay, I learned how to do this journal. So I did the journal. And once I did the journal, I said, okay, I think I'm going to do a workbook. So I broke my book down that I had paid for publishing, and I turned it into a workbook. And then I said, okay, I got this. Then I said, well, let me see about a coloring book. So then I did a coloring book. Then next it was the kids book. And from then it just birthed so many other books. Because like I said, when I was going through that process, then I looked at my granddaughter, she's young. She was like 9. And I was like, Camille, you want to write a book? So excited about the process. So now she has a book. Then my daughter that had went in the military, I said, Takia, you want to write a book? She was like, yeah, Mom. So, and it's birthed the collaborations, and it's been going on and on. So, like I said, the door is, I mean, God is just steady opening up the door, because I think when you share and give away, we are just vessels that God is using to help others. And so, like the opportunities that you present on your show, the more you know, the better off you are. And the more you share, God gonna keep on allowing us to eat. Right? So that's it pretty much in a nutshell. It has this open door after door. And I'm looking at moving towards publishing after my next project. I will do one more project this year. And then I'm going to close the door to collaborations, because it's a season for everything. I'm 63 and ready to travel. So it's time to go.
Funny you mentioned that, because I got a new book that I'm still in the process. It's almost done. And one of the chapters in the book was a season. It's the season for everything. I mean, just like you said, a lot of people don't understand that.
It is.
God sometimes put people in our lives for a season. Just because every time you run across somebody doesn't necessarily mean that person is permanently placed in your life. And a lot of people find grief and disappointment because they lose focus on that. So you just hit a nerve about a season. You say, hey, I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna step aside because it's time for fall. I mean, meaning that season, summer is almost over, and it's time for a new season. And with new seasons, that brings new reasons. So talk about that a little bit more. I mean, you started it.
That is, yes, that is so true. You see what I'm saying? Because you outgrow certain stuff. As you're going through life, there's different ages, right? You look back when you said, when I was younger, had I known all of this, but you wouldn't have been ready back then. So God knows. You see what I'm saying? It's all a part of the plan. And it's part of his plan. So when we start to walk in our purpose and our plan, the plan for his plan for our life, that your outlook changes, right? You know that, hey, I'm here just because of his grace and his mercy, and he has something for me to do. So I wanted to go in here doing it, serving wholeheartedly, being ready and prepared for this. When the Bible tells us that to whom much is given, much is required. So we have to work. You work hard at this. A lot of times people on the outside looking in look like, oh, yeah, well, they doing that. But it takes a whole lot of late nights, early mornings. Sometimes getting to sleep for 2 or 3 days. It's like, oh, my goodness, right? This is not easy. And it's not, but like I said, success, what is success? It's different for everybody. You see what I'm saying? So when you reach that point in life, when you say, this is it, it's here. You see what I'm saying? Health is wealth. Because if you're not healthy, you're not wealthy. You can have all the money in the world, but if your health is bad, you can't spend it. You see what I'm saying? You might as well just start giving it away. So it's those things that we really learn right along the way. And that's why I say I noticed when my younger sister passed, she was the last one to pass, and me and her was really close. And my niece said to me when we went to clean out her stuff, she was like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't need all I want is the pictures. I was like floored. I was first of all mad at her for not wanting any of my sister's stuff. But then I was like, and I sit down on the couch and I thought about that. I said, my kids gonna be the same way. They will have no need for all them Scentsy products that I have, that Tracy Lynn jewelry and all that stuff, because I was an entrepreneur trying to find my way. And I was like, this is crazy. So I start to sit down and think.
Yeah, I think we might have lost her for a little bit. Todd, I think we might have lost her, but what she is talking about is so important, that we find our way, and most importantly, I believe that we have to cherish, uh, not, I wouldn't say cherish the stuff that we have, but cherish the people that we are around, because they are the most important folks, and that's what brings life to a journey, is the people that are around you, that you love and that you learn from. And a lot of times, on our journey, we lose focus of that, and we just forget a lot of different things. But I tell you, what Dr. V is talking about is so important, as you find your joy in journeys, in your journey. I mean, there's always going to be some setbacks. There are always going to be times where you are going to fall down, but you got to get back up. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back, and hopefully we'll pick it up with Dr. V. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We're going to take a station break. We'll be back shortly.
There's more stories of
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices.
Foundation. Dr. Cooley is here to equip you to strive for greatness and overcome adversity. It's time to get equipped today for the challenges of tomorrow. Now, here's the host of It's Your Life, Dr. James Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we kind of lost the doc for a second or so, but I think we got her back now. So can you hear me, Doc? Dr.
Yes,
V,
I can hear you.
Oh yeah, we kind of lost you for a minute or so. Glad to have you back.
Yes, I can hear you.
That was such a fun conversation that we was having. Especially you were saying that, and I think that you were saying sometimes we just lose our way. I'm talking about our loved ones, and they say, "Well, I don't want that one. I don't want none of this stuff," but they're not looking at life. They're not looking at the things, the memories, and that keeps a person, I believe, energy or their spirit alive, even though they might not be here with us. Can you talk a little bit about that one? Because you ended with
Right.
your
Absolutely.
niece. Okay. What, Dr. V, can you hear me?
Yeah. So, Dr. Yes. So, Dr. Cooley. So, I think that like I said, like I think we was born in a different era because I have 7 grands, right? And I look at
Uh-huh.
young folks now. Then I have 2 daughters, and my daughters are one is like late 40s, and the other one is her early mid 30s, right?
Mhm.
But I look at kids now and the generations. The Bible every generation gets weaker and wiser, right? So these are
Mhm.
things, certain things we don't have no control over because we don't have no control of them getting weaker or the wiser it's become from all these technology stuff that they have, like the phones and stuff. At 6 years old, kids have phones,
Mhm.
but you cell phones, right? But you can't say that it's not necessary nowadays because all the kidnappings and all the stuff that's happening, right? Do they really need a phone if they're at school and shootings and stuff, all of this, right? So you don't really know. But I look at mine in the different ages, right? And we try to give back, right? Because that's the era that we came from. See, our generation was different. Yeah, we were young. We went through a lot of stuff, too. But it seemed like it didn't affect us like it's affecting them. So
Mhm.
it's the times that we're living in as well. So now, to me, collaborations, connecting, this is the way that we can continue to maintain sanity because there's so much going on, right? You can't go places like you used to. You don't feel safe out there, right? Now we've been in the military for 25, 30 years. The stuff that's happening though, we didn't hear about that when we was in the military. It wasn't going on like this, right? So it's different times. Like that's why I say seasons. The seasons are changing. Right now, it's our time. This is our season. It is our time to win. So we have to go out here and give it our best shot right now. Stop putting off tomorrow what you can do today. It needs to be done now.
Well,
And so collaborating, connecting, being on these shows. I'm
you
serious. I'm very serious. It's like tomorrow, what are we waiting on, right? Time waits for no one. You know, we're blessed to be healthy today. So why not try to commit to doing something positive today? And this is what we must tell the young folks. Do it today. Don't keep putting it off till tomorrow. So if they get in the habit of doing something every day for 21 days, it changes, it breaks the habit, right? And it took
Mhm.
me a long time to realize I didn't think that was true about 21 days. It takes 21 days to break a habit. Yeah, but it's the truth. If try it. If there's something that you really want to stop doing, quit for 21 days straight, and then you'll look back and say, you know what? I have the desire to do it anymore.
21 days. 21 days
So
to break the habit. You
21.
mentioned connections,
Mhm.
and you mentioned collaboration connections. And I mean, just like I said, over 90 authors in your last project alone. Um, but you have written and you have dealt with a lot of other different projects. The genres that you talk about, I mean, the different types, is something that is in it, genre that you try to stay away from. You don't want to talk about this. I mean, I know we all have certain things, but do you?
Yeah, well, like I said, I normally, because once you build an audience as an author, right, a platform. So these are people look for me when they see Dr. V's books. They know I know also as the grief strategist, right? So I help people to heal from grief and loss. So that's what they look for me for. That was my first platform that I had built. Now that was where my books were centered, and then, like I said, it just started to build. And like I said, when you started business, it started at one thing, go sell one thing, and then it opens up that you need to open up the shop to add some more products, right? Because they read the Grief Helpline, they read that book, and I was still writing. So, and I had been in all those collaborations. So those collaborations taught me and my clients, right? I was like, they need to write a book. They need to tell their story in a book, right? So I'm coaching clients that's dealing with grief and loss, and I said, how do you want to memorialize your loved one? Do you want to write about it? I mean, because you could go talk to other mom groups or grief groups and talk to people that's that's just recently lost their loved one too. Maybe it'll help you to heal as well because theirs is fresher than yours was. So if someone has passed away 3 months ago and then somebody's child gets killed yesterday, then their wound is fresh. So you can go talk to them. But I learned that I would teach them to journal. So in with their journaling, most of the time they would, when I talked to them the next session, they would have enough, really, like by the end of our session, they have enough for a book. So I was like, have you ever thought about writing a book? Because that's what I think about all the time. That's how I got 20 of them. I'm always thinking about writing. If I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I think of something, I put it in my little notepad. And then I can come back and elaborate on that. And that's how books are written. You don't just get the whole book in one sitting. It comes in pieces. God just give us a little bit at a time. Tell me about your book. Is that true or not?
And you know what? You just mentioned something. Because my wife used to, I used to wake up about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and didn't want to wake up. And I know if I got this idea, this thought, if I don't write it down, the minute that I lay my head back down and go to sleep, and I wake up, it's gone. I done forgot everything. So you mentioned about having a note as a writer.
Right.
You have to have a notepad on the side of your bed, because at sometimes the oddest times in the world, the right thought or the best thought, and you find later on in your books that it was 2 o'clock in the morning when I had that idea. So you have to write it down. Hey, Dr. V, do each one of your books, I know you got 20 of them. Do each one of your books, are they standalone? I mean, I know that all of them are similar to the same genre, but each one of them stands by its own, a different story, different talking point.
So with my personal books, they stand on their own, but they refer to, like, the Grief Helpline is a part of a package. So like I said, when I first did my first book with the Grief Helpline, the first part of it's a 100-day devotional. The first part of it starts with grief healing, grief therapy. And then the second part of it at day 51 is joy restoration. So the two, I tied them two together. So with my coloring book, it's about healing therapy for grief. Okay, for people that's dealing with grief and loss. Then my kids book, I came back and did the kids book for kids, because I would go out and speak about my books, and people would tell me, well, do you have anything for children? And I said, I just never thought about it, but they do grieve too. So I said, I'm gonna do one for children. So I did a kids book, and from there, working with clients, because your clients will tell you what they need. So my clients couldn't keep up with dates and stuff like that. I said, they need a planner. So, okay, so I create the planner. So now they can keep up with their appointments and who they talk to and important things that they need to take care of after, a loss or whatever. They need to write it down. So they had the journal, the planner, the workbook, and the devotional. And now I get amazing testimonials about that kit, that people actually is healed. And 6 months later, they was like, I was really stuck. I had one young lady said she was going to the cemetery every day. Her husband had passed away 6 months ago, and she was still going every day. I said, that's not good. He will want you to keep coming back there like that. You got to let him rest. And, and you got to learn to live on without him. It's hard, but it's fair. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody wants you coming to the cemetery every day, just sitting there crying and, not fixing your hair, just, falling apart because you passed away. We all know we got to leave. We got to leave here one day. We was born, we got to go. There's an ending date, expiration date.
It's expiration date for everything.
So we put our best.
We're down to the last minute.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'll tell you what, we're down to the last minute of the radio portion. So 30 seconds less. What takeaway from this conversation that you and I are having that you want our audience to think about? 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, so absolutely. So like I said, with the next project that we are doing for Joy 365 is going to be a daily devotional. And I absolutely like to extend a welcome to you and your wife, Michelle. So you can come over here and learn the steps, right? Because anytime you learn the steps, you can duplicate these. And as you're going throughout your journey in life with coaching and mentoring and helping people to have shows and, you know, radio shows, TV shows, or whatever. I do believe like teamwork makes the dream work. You know, so many opportunities happen since I opened the doors to being a visionary for projects like this. We are contributing writers for magazines. I mean, you name it, the doctorate program. So there's so many other things. So it's bigger than us, right? So
Absolutely.
I really want
I tell you,
Michelle to consider coming over.
We will, but I'm going to have to close out the radio portion of this right now. And I tell you what, our listeners out there, radio, this has been a very remarkable conversation, very interesting conversation. I tell you, learn it. I mean, because you can learn a lot from this young lady right here. And I want everybody to always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. Remember, you got dreams, you got a heart, you got all of these different thoughts. Write a book. Get in touch with this young lady right here. She can help you write a book. She can show you how to write a book. And tell you what, we'll be back same time, same place. It's Your Life with Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Talk to you later.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us for the James.
So we still here. We still got the television. We're not going yet. So takeaways.
Yes, it was really.
Well, I tell you what, we are almost there, but I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show.
Thank you as well.
These deals. And I might be hitting you up about IS because I got 3 projects in the works right now, 3 books projects. And normally I do the traditional publishing. Thinking about doing a little something different this time. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So, but I tell you, I might be hitting you up and getting some advice from you. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. We're out of time right now. 30 seconds to let you want to say anything to anybody before we close this out. Now we got to keep it 30 seconds for real this time.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, thank you so much for having me. And definitely, like I said, let's stay connected because, like I said, we'll chat again offline, you know, and figure out, you know, what the next step is because it's always, you know, a next step and who has your next, you know. The doctorate program is a wonderful program and there's so many of us and we're doing different things, right? So it's not like you're stepping on anybody else's toes. It's enough out here for all of us. And we just have to point, you know, it's right there. Go get it. You see what I'm saying?
We got to go get it. And I tell you what, hey, Dr. V, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll be back the same time tomorrow, same place. It's Your Life, Dr. James J.C. Cooley.